everybody. I hope everyone's doing well today. I can see a lot of you are already settled and ready for this morning. So once again, I'd like to welcome everybody. My name is Claire Carillo and I'll be your host for today. Mapua Malayan Digital College, or MMDC, is actually the premier digital first college in the Philippines, and they have given us a great opportunity for today's event. Actually, this is a good opportunity for everybody to know and understand more about Mapua Malayan Digital College's curriculum and more about their details about the institution's opportunity to work with working students. So that is our focus for today. And of course, this is an important milestone because we will be discussing something really close to my heart, which is the working student. So I myself, if in case you guys didn't know, of course, I am also a working student, and actually, we are interested to know how these institutions can play a big role when it comes to helping the working students, reach their dreams and achieve their goals through, of course, higher education. We're honored to have the MMDC leadership team with us today. Their leadership has been crucial with MMDC's innovative approach to learning, positively impacting working students. I would like to ask everyone to please join me in welcoming Engineer Dennis Tablante, Mr. Noel Torregoza, Mr. Chester Catilago, and Ms. Rita De Jesus. Good morning and welcome. Now I have introduced to you guys the team behind this Mapua Malayan Digital College. To really get a sense of what working students in the Philippines are facing, we need to look at the data. Of course, our first speaker is from Nerve, a data forensics company that enables change makers to navigate real-world experience and trends and issues through narrative and network investigations. Here to present the results from their latest survey, let's welcome Nerve strategist Joaquin Mercado.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm Joaquin from The Nerve. And as mentioned, we work with change makers now to navigate real-world trends and issues. And that's why we partnered with MMDC to conduct this survey for this event. And so we'll be presenting our survey entitled Study or Work, the Challenges and Aspirations of Filipino Working Student. And we're here because we know that behind every work is a dream. Many of us here were actually working students before, or even more working students. And so we wanted to uncover with MMDC and our community partner Rappler, not just what those dreams are, but what stands in the way of each of those dreams and what can be done to break those barriers. And so what we wanted to first find out is, what is the primary reason that many choose to become working students? And over 56%, over half of our respondents really mentioned that it's a matter of economics. A matter of over 56% cited gaining financial independence, and closely related among current students is the fact that they needed to provide and support their household expenses in terms of helping improving their family's life. And so balancing these financial pressures and also these responsibilities in terms of academics, it was the time, or rather the lack of time to be able to provide both, which proved to be their greatest barrier in their journey. Once again, over half, 56% cited that they did not have enough time to balance work and studies. And even outside work, even outside study, many cited that they struggled in terms of their personal and social time. And so finding these responses in terms of time constraints, closely related to those that say physical health concerns and mental health concerns, it paints a very troubling picture on how being a working student can actually take a toll on one's well-being. Therefore, what must be done? What can be done to support working students? And this question is especially emphasized because in the worst cases, it is these financial pressures, it is these time constraints altogether which forces many to drop out. First, when we look at part-time students, these part-time students are those we can say are likely under the most financial strain, showed higher tendencies in terms of choosing to stop studying to focus on work, or even dropping both altogether in this sense of hopelessness. And second, when we looked at college dropouts who participated in the survey, what we find is that it's really a limited financial capability which proved to impede their ability to complete their college degree, including familial responsibilities, which also manifested in terms of a lack of time in what they were able to study and their work that they do. Therefore, once again I ask, what exactly can be done to support these working students? And this question is especially relevant when we find that ambition is never and was never the issue when it comes to these working students. In our survey, over 86% of respondents showed that they were eager to upskill, saying that the desire to understand that they can grow in education isn't just present, but rather it's undeniable. Over 60% of our respondents said that they were actively seeking opportunities to learn, opportunities to upskill. And then 26% said that they really wanted to upskill, but worried about capabilities in terms of times and in costs. Notably too, upskilling through workshops, short courses, and micro-certifications proved to be especially popular among our set of respondents. And the reasons that they preferred these short courses and micro-credentials was really an emphasis on the practicality of it. Practicality in terms of the lessons, practicality in terms of time that they're able to devote, and ultimately, practicality in being able to achieve the career they've always wanted. However, even with upskilling through these types of micro-certifications and short courses, the same barriers which prove to impede their ability as working students are also present in these kinds of activities, these kinds of education. They still worry about the tight limits of time and money. Particularly, our respondents say that they can only set aside up to 5 hours per week in terms of. And second, they're only willing to shell out more. Many are reluctant to spend more than 5,000 on a short course or micro credential. However, with the ambition that I already emphasized earlier, matters of logistics, matters of finances shouldn't impede those ambitions. They shouldn't be those that limit the large ambition of today's Filipino students and Filipino employees. Therefore, what exactly can be done to provide the working students the support that they need? And so we asked them directly. First and foremost, what working students emphasized, whether they be current working students or those that are interested to upskill current employees even, is flexibility in both work and study schedules. It's what they cited as the most critical support needed across all groups. You can see here, whether one is a current working student, a former working student, employed but interested in a short course, it is really the flexibility that they're after in terms of their time. But something that also manifested in our survey is that flexibility was not just important in terms of time, but also flexibility in terms of finances. Given that financial pressures largely form the backdrop and the context of why many choose to upskill, why many choose to become working students, it is really the alleviation of these financial pressures, or really just a form of assistance in these financial pressures, which could really prove to uplift their situation and empower them towards achieving their dreams. However, more than just being able to provide flexibility in terms of work and study schedules, what we also want to emphasize is that supporting working students must go beyond just this. Relevant, real-world experience must be embedded to ensure not just educational achievement, but career readiness. And we say this because many respondents in our survey either indicated that they were not in fields of study that they wanted to pursue as a career, or alternatively, were not necessarily working jobs that aligned with the career that they wanted to pursue. Therefore, for working students, for those interested to upskill, echoing the practicality that was mentioned earlier, these types of upskilling opportunities are really relevant ways to dip their feet into the real world, to develop the relevant skills that they want to go after this career that they've always dreamed of. And so, as we close this presentation and as we begin our celebration of National Working Students Day, we want to summarize this report not just by citing figures, citing data points, but rather calling for action in 4 key areas. First is flexibility. Given that balancing work and balancing studies is really that number one pressure that a lot of working students face, The need for flexible study and work arrangements are really necessary to empower them to manage both commitments confidently. Second, real-world skills. As earlier mentioned, more than just the flexibility, the necessity to equip our students today, to equip our employees today even, with those real-world skills which allow the career progression, which allow the career shifting, or whatever form of career that empowers them to achieve the dreams that they want. And third is continuity. Upskilling is interesting not just to today's high school students, not to today's college students, but even those that are currently employed. Therefore, we must create a culture of continuing education. Continuing education where it's not just allowed that our employees have the time to upskill, but rather where this upskilling is encouraged. Short courses, micro-certifications, and the like. However, lastly, what we ultimately call for is the accessibility. Given that financial pressures prove to be a large pain point, whether it be today's working students or today's current employees, we must create opportunities for these working students to alleviate their financial stress, whether that be through scholarships, employer-backed education programs, and flexible tuition options. And so, if you'd like to know more about the survey that we conducted, we'd be glad to answer more questions. No? And also, you may find out more about the work that we do by visiting our website. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for that insightful report, Joaquin. Honestly, as a former working student, all of the results in the survey, like, of course, time management, the flexibility, it's super important. And I'm sure all of us have someone in mind when we say working students. So now, I'm sure we're also curious, how do they get the grit, the determination that they want to have in their life? I mean, what actually inspires them? So now, if you want to know and consider, why are they so driven? Now we have here, let's delve into some of the powerful whys, and please direct your attention in front of our screens because we actually have a video just for you.
There was a time when reality hit me hard. I trained people and mentored them, but they got promoted ahead of me because they have college degree and I didn't. Hi, I'm Michael Paulo Sudara and you may call me Mikey. I'm 37 years old and a father of 2 daughters, and I'm taking up BS Information Technology, major in Network and Cybersecurity at Mapua Malayan Digital College. I've been in the IT industry for more than a decade now, and I realized that skills and experiences are not enough. Then I needed to get a college degree. So I look for a fully online college that I can balance together with my full-time job, and that's how I found MMDC. As a working student, I have to manage my time wisely. From waking up with my kids, a simple bonding, I have to work from 8 to 5, and after that, I study at home in MMDC.
Hi, I'm Carla Besanias. I'm a 20-year-old working student at Mapua Malayan Digital College, and I've been hustling since I was 18. From organizing events and handling customer engagement to selling DIY beads, now I'm a freelancer managing 2 brands. I took on every job I could, not just for experience, but because I had to. I grew up in a broken family, and my mom had to work full-time in Metro Manila, while my grandmother raised me in Cebu. In 2022, I lost my mom to cancer. I wasn't just grieving, I was suddenly on my own. I had to fend for myself. I had to step up to cover my bills and personal expenses, all while pursuing my education. And this is why MMDC is the best college for me.
I decided to step up with MMDC because of various reasons. First, the Mapua legacy. My Mapua diploma is not only recognized in the Philippines, but also around the world. Secondly, the fully online learning model. I have a full-time job at malaking tulong na hindi ko na kailangan pumunta sa isang physical campus. Third is the support system, like the coaches and the mentors. They are industry professionals and we can learn a lot from them. They can help us with our outputs and they can understand the struggles of a working student like me. Lastly, MMDC embraces latest technologies like AI to help us succeed in the modern workplace.
MMDC pushed me to go beyond my comfort zone and prove that balancing work, life, and studies isn't just possible, it's doable. With MMDC's flexible schedules, I can work, do multiple side hustles, study college, and still have time for myself. Manageable yung weekly classes with professors, and I can choose morning, afternoon, or evening classes based on my work schedule. Also, there are no quizzes or exams, just projects, problems, and cases that help me apply what I learned directly to my jobs. Plus, we have access to content from top universities and organizations globally. The programs that MMDC offers are relevant to the job market today. Lastly, their financial assistance, scholarships, and flexible payment plans lifted a huge burden, making my education achievable. MMDC doesn't just support me, it empowers me. Being a working student here at MMDC is tough, but every challenge builds strength. To my fellow working students, keep going. You're not just surviving, you're building your future. Breakdowns become breakthroughs. Malayo pa, pero malayo ka na.
It's not too late to pursue your dreams. Don't let reality force you to realize the importance of education. Take action now. The best investment that you can make is in yourself. I am Mikey, a proud working student.
I am Kyla, a proud working student.
And this is my step-up story.
A wonderful video. Let's all give Kyla and Michael a warm round of applause, everybody. And as you've seen, that is a video produced by PhilStar that featured two MMDC students, Kyla and Michael. Once again, they have reflected their unique journey, all their experiences, and of course, the truly resonation of their whys have been seen on the video that was presented. And as you've seen, it's not easy to be a working student. They're juggling both family, while working at the same time, and also making sure that their education is still there in their everyday life. So now, I'm super excited to announce to everyone that we are all here. Let's all celebrate Mapua Malayan Digital's part of its Step Up sa Pangarap movement to establish on March 21st. Again, March 21st every year as National Working Students Day. That is this Friday. Once again, March 21, it's National Working Students Day. So if you can see there, this is actually an annual event that is to celebrate the achievements of the working students that we have in our lives, or if you have a friend or if you know someone who is dearly to you, this is to recognize. And of course, we have these extraordinary stories and their dedication must be celebrated as well. So the National Working Students Day is a platform to honor and celebrate the success of working students to shine a light on their relentless pursuit of education. And of course, with their career success as well as their struggles, their stories and hopes for the future. One of the key goals of the National Working Students Day is to empower undergraduates who dream of completing their college journey. We want you to know that it is possible. MMDC and a thriving community of employers and organizations are actually ready to support and empower you. These include McDonald's, 7-Eleven, RCBC, Rappler, C IBPAP, Microsoft, Concentrix, and Sutherland. So mark your calendars, everybody, and let's celebrate National Working Students Day on March 21st. Again, you can share your unique working student stories if you are, or if you know someone in your life, please don't forget to support them. And of course, don't forget to use the official hashtag. It's on the screens. It's Working Students Day. So once again, don't forget to follow and tag Mapua Malayan Digital on their social media. And we actually have a filter on our stories. So please don't forget, again, at Mapua Malayan Digital on Instagram, you can tag us and use the filter as well. So given this, I know a lot of you are curious, okay, what is the programs or what are the programs that are going to be offered? So given this, we also set the National Working Students Day as an opportunity to build the community of support from organizations. And of course, we have the academe to uplift the people or the work with as hardworking individuals, of course, we want to make sure that they are well supported. Our panel are here and I believe they're excited to share more details about it as well. Our panel has been empowered and empowering working students to pursue the higher education that they'll be needing. So once again, to all of our media friends, I would love to have your attention in front of me because we will be introducing our panelist for today. Our first panelist is a TV host and an education advocate. Let's welcome Bianca Gonzalez. Our next panelist is Vice President at Mapua Malayan Digital College, Jenny Chua. Joining the discussion this morning is Adi Hernandez, Assistant Vice President at McDonald's Philippines Golden Arches Development Corporation. Rounding out our speakers today is Jean Pange from Rappler. Okay, so now that we are all seated, how is everyone doing today? Are we all good? Okay. I know a lot of you are excited. So, Bianca, let's start with you. I prepared here a few questions, of course, to make sure that we fill in the gaps, as you can see on the screen. So, Bianca, let's start with you. After watching the video of and Michael's inspiring, of course, and very relatable video, I'm curious, what are the driving forces behind your decision to pursue your studies? Of course, despite your early career opportunities in life, what made you pursue it?
Thank you very much. Hi, good morning, everyone. So I think I am just one of the many real-life examples of the data presented earlier. In my case, though, I started working third-year college. So the opportunity presented itself. And usually pag ganun, if it's the job that you do want to pursue when you graduate, kunin mo na. But non-negotiable sa akin to finish college. Actually, more non-negotiable ng nanay at tatay ko to finish college. But for me as well, naging importante. I know a lot of Pinoys relate to that na yun ang gusto talagang pamana ng magulang ang makapagtapos. And so, I eventually ended up doing part-time school. I underloaded so that I can do the work that I actually want to do. And I feel it was mutually beneficial. I remember last year, I interviewed Nico, one of the working students from MMDC. And sabi niya na minsan, yung lesson niya sa umaga, biglang nung gabi when he went to work, na-apply na niya kaagad when he encountered a problem. And super I was able to relate when he said that because when I would do work, for example, sa prod on set, ito yung diniscuss ng prof ko kanina or the other week. And so, although I was a working student, 23 years ago. Ang tagal na. I think the problems are very, very much the same. Iba lang yung milieu. Kasi syempre mas digital na ngayon. So inspired by the two who shared their story earlier.
Thank you so much for that. And I would agree with that na talagang ma-apply mo na after ma-discuss ng mga professors. And that's the real life experience that MMDC actually offers. And now, thank you so much, Bianca, for that. And now let's go to Jenny. We've heard about the challenges of working students when it comes to balancing school and work, as we have seen on the stats a while ago. So, Jenny, can you please share with us how MMDC has been supporting working students in the past years?
Okay, good. So the Mapua Education Group launched MMDC or
Number 3.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so the Mapua Education Group launched MMDC or Mapua Malayan Digital College, short for MMDC, in 2022. No? We're actually excited to have graduates this year, our first batch of graduates. And the leadership team, which you've met earlier, actually built MMDC to really serve our underserved market, which are the working students. And that's why we're celebrating National Working Students Day. We, like what we've seen in the NERV study, flexibility is very important to this market. And just like what Kyla and Mikey shared with everybody, they really desire to go back to school or to manage balancing school and work, because work is very important to them. But there has to be the academe as a support, right? Traditional school setup may not work for working students in the country. And the growth of our economy is also banking on our graduates, right? And so we're here to support them with flexible college model that will allow them to balance their lives and also be able to get the skills that they need to be relevant in the workforce. The workforce is very demanding right now with all of the skills that's being updated, right? And we want to make sure that our curriculum, like what our ISD group or team is building and upgrading constantly, we want to make sure that they get the skills that they need to really graduate with distinctions.
Got it. Actually, I would like to add on that because, of course, working students have a lot of different, like, of course, they have opportunities outside, and then they also have their personal, like, family affairs and stuff like that. So, of course, I have another follow-up question. So, what can working students expect more from MMDC? Because you've mentioned that it's so rare that institutions has a flexible type of learning. Because honestly, as a Gen Z, so it's really a part of our generation that we value flexibility, time management, because we want to achieve more. So that's one of the reasons why that is a good highlight of this conversation as well. So just in case if they restart the college journey at their MMDC, like how does it look like?
This year, actually, very excited to launch the upgraded model in MMDC. We're actually calling it MMDC 2.0. Because aside from the human mentors that they get to really support them, right? To make sure that they're on time, they're delivering their milestones, their projects, they get some guidance, they get coaching. We're also supporting them with AI coach and AI dialogues to really support them with their daily learning and their comprehension, their conversations with the machines. We're leveraging AI because it's important. If not, they're going to be left behind. So while they're studying at MMDC, they're already working with the machines. So that when they get to the workforce, or while they're in the workforce already because they're working students, they're prepared. Right? So that's one thing that we're very excited about. The other one is we're also opening up micro-credentials, giving them the ability to access micro-credentials to gain the skills that they need, again, to make sure that they're hireable, right?
I would agree.
So, these micro-credentials is also booming in our country, right? It started, it's a global trend already that students need to, or working professionals need to have the right skills for the right job, right? So it's not just about graduating with a diploma, right? It's about the skills. How are the employers able to utilize you for the job that they need you to do, right? So we partnered with big brands, especially in the in-demand jobs like Meta, Google, IBM, Adobe, to make sure that these are the skills that they need.
That is good to hear. Thank you so much for that, Jenny. And now, let me turn my attention to Addie. So, hi, good morning. McDonald's Philippines has been providing our continuing education support to its employees through partial scholarships made possible in partnership with, of course, MMDC. So, how do you think MMDC's learning model can benefit these employees that you have? And of course, how can they support their work at McDonald's?
Okay. So I want to greet first. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. So, and happy National Working Students Day. And of course, happy Women's Month, as evidenced with the panel here. Okay. So, sisimulan ko. I was not a working student, but I proudly work and try to make things better for 40,000 working students with the work that we do for McDonald's. And I think I'd like to start by what Joaquin presented, the nerves about flexibility, the need for flexibility, financial security, upskilling, as echoed by my co-panelists. These are not new. These are the same realities that these over 40,000 working students working at McDonald's also go through every day. And what I think we are most proud of is that we've solved the first. At McDonald's, we provide flexible work hours. So how it goes is that they give their schedule, their school schedule for the for the term, and we plan the shifts around their schedule. So that removes that barrier for flexibility. The second is the need for upskilling. And aside from our world-class training programs, so if I can be very candid with everyone in this room, because it's global standards, it makes our crew very, very marketable. And in fact, very desirable to other McDonald's markets abroad. And actually, the highest now, we've seen a lot of movement or a lot of former McDonald's people going to Canada, New Zealand, with their families because the learning and the training that they were able to get while they were working here in McDonald's Philippines is exactly at the same caliber and level at global, so they can work in any McDonald's market all over the world. So that's on upskilling. And finally, on the career progression, there is this myth or there is this belief that working at a fast food is a dead-end job. I think it's a very Western sentiment, but somehow it has permeated through here in the market. Thinking na pag fast food or pag ano lang yun, dead end, walang angat or walang progression. Hindi po yun totoo. So especially for McDonald's, because after our crew graduates college, they are given the option if they want to proceed and work as a manager. Because one of our requirements for you to start in your management development program is for you to finish college. Meron kaming direct. Pagka-graduate, pwede ka nang dumiretso as manager. And I'm happy to share that a lot of the McDonald's leaders in the boardroom today started working as a crew. A good example is our Senior Vice President and Head of Operations who handles all our 790 stores. He was a working student. He was in UP, and then he was working as a crew, and now he's SVP. So I think those are the three things. And when we worked with MMDC, it was a perfect complement to our commitment to providing our students with flexibility because they are able to make it even easier for our students to be able to balance school and work with the online model. Because another thing that's critical for us, aside from the student schedule, is we have to make sure that they live nearby. We do not assign, if a student is working in Quezon City, we won't assign you to a branch in Pasig. We will assign you within QC, closest to either your home or to your school. So, and I think the online learning model is really very helpful to our working students who are also a lot of slashers, as we call them. Slashers because they are students / service crew / content creators / everything, slashers. And because they are slashers, the mobility even between their workplace and their home is very critical. So to be able to hustle anywhere and learn and study anywhere is very valuable to them. So that's why I think I'll take the opportunity to give my thanks on behalf of Kenneth, Yang, and Margot Torres to the leadership of MMDC for this. Thank you for putting this for our working students and for partnering with us and further supporting our McDonald's working students more.
Thank you so much for that, Addie. And of course, since you've touched on everything already, I know that's a lot of information, but I hope you guys picked up a lot. And of course, I'm super happy that McDonald's is actually acknowledging everybody, like as simple as being accessible to near their homes. Because actually nowadays, honestly, going to different places, it's super traffic. And that is inevitable. So of course, there are big corporations and companies that are really helping us each step of the way. And of course, thank you so much for that. And now let's hear from Rappler, Ms. Jean, to talk about, of course, its newest online learning platform. So I believe you can tell us more about Rapplearn. So will MMDC courses be available there?
Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello. Okay, so good morning, everyone. So for the longest time, Rappler has been doing a lot of roadshows. So we do go to different provinces and regions to talk about how they can use social media for social good. And we've also done online webinars during the pandemic to transition the pivot during the pandemic. So with Rappler, we're actually streamlining our training program, so making it available online. And the premise is really to learn at your own pace. So the first course that we actually had at Rappler is the media and information literacy. So basically with Rappler, we're bringing together learners, teachers. We also have our community partners, students, including working students, of course. It's actually available for them to access if they're interested to learn more, and which is very relevant and important to learn how to navigate the digital landscape, especially given that it's all digital right now, and we want to be able to make sure that people get to actually know how to access information from credible sources, for instance. So right now, we have a course on media and information literacy. So it talks about the media in society. We also have, of course, when you're online, you're also at risk. So we have a course on a module on opportunities and risks in the digital landscape. And we also talk about the importance of research and fact-checking. And we also have a course, of course, talking about journalism and its importance to the public. So it's actually accessible and also flexible because students and even teachers can access that. And the good thing is you can also learn from the experts themselves. So the journalists themselves are the ones teaching the course. And actually some of the comments from those that have already took the course, it's actually very, you can learn that in 48 hours. You can actually learn from the experts themselves, their experience on the field. So I myself, I'm not a journalism graduate, but with Rappler and also the experience working there, it's actually providing an opportunity for them to get to learn about the journalism field and what's the importance of the digital media and how can they navigate through the very complex and evolving digital landscape. So of course, Rappler is very much open to working with organizations that share the same value of creating courses to be able to navigate the digital landscape right now. And I'm sure that with the partnership with MMDC, they can expect courses to also be uploaded on the Rappler soon.
Okay, that's a good news for everybody. So thank you so much for that, Jean. And now, picking up the topic of upskilling, because of course, all of you have, of course, given that learning is very crucial or important. So now let's go to Bianca. I have a question. So when it comes to upskilling, there are new trends nowadays, and it's very important to, upscale, of course. So do you have any plans to pursue certification courses, or if there are any information on what you can say about continuous learning? So what's your take on that?
I'm the personality type that, though I was one of those lucky to graduate college, miss short course ako. Lalo na nung pandemic, kung ano-ano mga short course nilook up ko. So when I met with MMDC about this and that they have their 2.0 in which they're not just offering full courses but short courses as well, ang sinabi ko kaagad in the meeting, parang I want to take the AI one. And this is what I want to tell everyone in the room. So at whatever stage we are in, the world is moving so fast. Everything is changing so fast. We cannot stop learning. Adi and I were speaking earlier that during our time in school, kunyari PR ka lang. Marketing ka lang. Advertising ka lang. Now, there's no clear delineation. Marketing bleeds into PR, bleeds into advertising. For example, our friends from the media, dati gusto ko maging journalist. Basta magsulat ka lang, okay na. Alam mo na yung structure. But now, what? You're expected to take the photo, take the video, upload it, lay out, edit it. Diba parang everything is bleeding into each other, and that will only grow even more. The jobs 5 years from now don't even exist yet. And so if we do not learn more, mapapag-iwanan talaga tayo. And so for me, it's critically important, especially in the work that I do, media, na napakabilis din how things change, especially social media. We have to learn. Bonus na lang if you enjoy learning, if nerd kayo like me. But I mean, with such a flexible model, and I believe you will be able to experience it later, the many different short courses that MMDC is offering. I actually told Jenny kanina, alam mo kanino patok tong learning model nyo? Sa mga artista.
Yes.
So many actors who are busy taping 3 times a week want to go to school, but no learning model in the past has provided that for them. So sabi ko kay Jenny, i-link up kita kasi bongga to sa kanila.
Kaya na-excite na sila.
I'm sure. And given that, since Bianca have mentioned that, so Bianca, MMDC has exciting news for you. And of course, Jenny will be sharing more about it. So we understand that, of course, balancing work and full-time, studies is very significant, not just for me personally, but to everybody in the room. And of course, not everyone can commit because again, time constraints, the schedule, that's really, really hard to align. So for Bianca and of course to others looking to upskill, does MMDC actually offer alternative options? So Jenny, can you please tell us more about it?
So before I answer that question, I actually want to thank my co-panelists, especially Bianca's been so supportive of this community. We've been working with her since, I think, for 2 years, almost 2 years already, because she believes in what we're passionate about, right? Of course, McDonald's has been a very good partner. We actually have a continuation program, plus internship, right? And they've been very supportive. Hopefully, we're looking forward to more collaborations in the future. And of course, Rappler, particularly for the Rappler partnership here, where we want to actually, because that's why this is the reason why we want to have you in the room, our media partners, because we need your help in really empowering our working students in the country. Again, the DC is to provide better experiences through college education, right? So that our working students will eventually have better lives, better careers, and to be able to contribute back to the organizations, thus improving our country in general, with IT applied in business. Like what my co-panelist said, it's not just about marketing and just PR or tech and all these new fields, right? It's an end-to-end role already for many of the jobs that we need to fill. So, super excited to share with you guys that we recently launched Career Lipad. Career Lipad is a collection of short certification programs for these students to get micro-credentials, to earn micro-credentials that employers value. They're not just local employers, but these are also global employers. So we're really preparing more students to be equipped in the workplace. So we are initially offering 5 programs in 3 fields. As you know, virtual assistance is very big now. It's globally significantly growing. So virtual assistance is one that's actually led by MMDC in terms of curating the program. The other one is social media marketing with Meta, digital marketing and e-commerce with Google, content creation with Adobe, and data analytics with IBM. So these 3 fields, virtual assistance, marketing and technology. And these are just the initial programs that we've launched where classes starts this April. And in the future, actually within the year, we'll be launching more programs. So, I'm very excited to share that with you guys. As soon as they're launched, we'll definitely share that. Other fields we want to be in be customer service, sales, and even ESL, English as Second Language. And these are the 5 fields that our IT or instructional system design team looked into, and they looked at what are the jobs that employers need to fill and where students can come in. That's the gap we need to fill with the Career Lipad program certifications. So we want to make sure that we're not micro-credentials, but we want to make sure that they get a job because that's what we want them to have. So it's not just about, collecting certifications, right? We want them to apply them and put them in their CVs, so that they'll be globally recognized. It's very unique. The model is very unique because it's not just, again, getting certifications. They're actually guided to the platform. Our platform partner is Coursera. Yeah, we're all familiar with Coursera. And we have personal guidance. So as soon as they finish the program, they will be guided by our student affairs team or our guidance team to help them with their CV preparation, their interview, so that they can really, again, the goal is to get them a job. Even connecting them with their employer partners, right? And what's the beauty of this is that they will be going through a very personalized track, right? Our academics team curated the pathways, meaning, for example, for virtual assistants, right? They made sure that that you get or you take are properly sought within the Coursera space, and actually also our academics team will also come up with their own content and put it in the system, where it's not just bara-bara, kung ano na lang available. Like, they really had to think about what are the skills that they need to learn, and then compiling that, collecting that as a micro-credential. I hope I explained it right. But of course, Noel Torregoza, our ISD director, can talk more about that later. But that's why we're so excited. And we can come up with, of course, this is just initial 5, but we want to come up with, I don't want to say a number, but we're going to come up with a lot. Like, for example, AI. I'm actually very particular about robotics because that's it's everywhere now. Machine learning, all of those technology play that modern workplaces are revolutionizing. We get students every month, and it's very affordable. Like what the NERV study said, they can only shell out 5,000, right? This one is within that. It's about 5,000 to 9,000 per program, and you can actually get the micro-credential already. So we want to make it very accessible to Filipinos, not just here in the Philippines, but around the world.
Yeah, that's a very, very insightful conversation. So once again, I just want to say thank you to our panelists this morning. Let's all give them a warm round of applause, please. So they will be staying on stage to prepare for more Q&A. So I hope they're ready to answer more questions from the media. So now we are opening the floor for any questions from our audience. Of course, I just want to let you guys know that there's a mic, so you can, raise your hand if you have any questions for us, and you can approach the microphone holder. So, okay. So we have a first question. So, okay, can we have your name, sir? Okay, sorry. I thought you were raising your hand for the question. Okay, so is there anyone in the room who would like to ask questions? So we have your sir who has the microphone. Can you just raise your hand so you can approach him just in case you have any questions? So for me personally, I have a lot of questions since I am also a working student, technically, I was a working student. So I really value time management and, of course, adaptability. And at the same time, all of these skills that I have learned today, these are not all taught in school. I learned it, or I experienced this in the labor force or in the work field already. So for the first question, I have a question for Ms. Jenny. So you've mentioned more details about the Career Leap Pad certification. So how is this different from the traditional certification program? So again, it's international. So can you give us like a summary version on what they can expect from this certification?
If I may, I will ask Sir Noel to answer.
Great.
Yes, because he actually leads the team who is creating and curating all of this program. So I'll let him answer.
Okay.
Sure. So I guess the key differences lie in specificity and how widely recognized the certificates are.
Oh, okay.
Right? So when it comes to certifications, what makes them so attractive to potential employers would be how well or how closely they fit the specific capabilities that they require in the field. And that's what these certifications, I guess that's the advantage of these certifications. They're consistently updated. There's been a lot of talk about how quickly things change and how quickly businesses evolve. And because we're offering something that's digital, we're able to keep up with all of these changes. We're able to update everything as quickly as, I guess, the environment demands. Secondarily, I guess it's no secret that the reason why people chase after certifications, aside from having the skills, would be to legitimize the capabilities that they have. For potential employers to look at their profile and go, okay, I think this is the right person to perform the job for us. And if you have big brands attached to your certifications, such as I think what was mentioned earlier were Google, IBM, and the like, then it simply adds to how marketable you become as a job seeker. So I think those are the key advantages of our certifications.
Okay, so earlier you guys have mentioned something about AI features. So do you have specific AI tools that are integrated to this, and how do they enhance, of course, the learning experience of all the students?
Right. So AI has been a hot topic in education for a
Yes.
lot of different reasons. No, but I'll stick to your question. I think the first way that, and you'll hopefully experience this later when we demo this to everyone, the first way that this impacts the learning experience is that it expands the capacity of the teacher, right? If you're a teacher, one of the key challenges is being able to address all of the needs of your students. And even if you're teaching one subject lang, you have 30, 40 students in a class, you can expect that there's going to be 30 or 40 different needs, right? Some of them will find different topics easy, some of them might find others a bit challenging. And it's sometimes hard to split yourself and your time and your bandwidth across all of these different learners. What a properly trained and tuned AI system can do is serve as an extension of you as the expert or as a support system for the learners, making yourself effectively available to the learners anytime they need you to, right? There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to make sure that the human component is not lost, but if you're able to integrate both of those, then that really helps. Secondarily, I guess, it allows the teachers to focus their time and energy on really more high-value interactions. I can't stress enough how much time mga teachers are lost on administrative tasks that are now can now be easily automated, which then gives them the bandwidth and the brain power and the time to spend on engaging the learners on something a little bit more meaningful. So from direct interactions with AI to indirect benefits of AI, I think there's just a lot of benefits that AI technology brings to the academy.
That's true. So thank you so much for that very thorough discussion.
Andy wants to add something.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so when we're talking about micro credentials and then the need for career progression, I just wanted to share that I think there is a misconception that when we're talking about digital or AI, we foxhole the jobs to it as, you know, those in IT, really IT, laptop work. But in fact, your everyday, your regular brick and mortar businesses, such as McDonald's, have been undergoing tremendous digital transformation. So over the past 10 years, I think for a lot of businesses, we've been really improving our back of house solutions, innovating, improving our tech to help in customer experience, in customer facing. So digital is also really a part of how businesses do their operations, and therefore the criticality of our frontliners and our employees to be well averse with digital is really important to companies as we grow. So at McDonald's, we have what we call our experience of the future. When we transition to our self-order kiosk, that's what you see. But that is supported all the way with different back-end solutions and technology that need people to feed and to run them properly. It's the same with AI. We are also starting our journey with AI, and it is a blue ocean, and that is why learning opportunities is really important for our people.
Okay, that's actually to add up with that, because of course, as we all know, AI is really fast evolving, and a lot of people are scared that this will be another shift. Of course, some people might think na, oh, there are technologies now, so it will be replaced by people. And you guys know, the Philippines is really heavy on the labor force, and we have a lot of people who needs jobs nowadays. So we are glad, of course. Thank you so much to that, Miss Andy, for sharing to us that it is really true, that it's backed with real people who do the programming, the hard labor at the back of the technology that we use every day. So just to add up a question, so since we have, of course, a long-term vision for McDonald's and, of course, the partial scholarship programs, so how do you think this will be beneficial with the organization for the long run?
Yeah, so our partnership with MMDC now is really for subsidized tuition for IT technology courses. So we're very happy with our first batch of graduates. We're very excited to see them graduate, but not yet. They still have a few more terms, but soon. They're not part of the pilot batch will graduate, no. Plus, yeah, not. Tagal pa pala. So, no. But we're very excited to see where how will it be for them? How will it make them better in their role, and how they will progress in the company. So as I said, it's really, aside from learning the course, meaning IT and technology and all the technical skills, what we are also seeing is the improvement in discipline. Because again, they're really now, because, nag-increase talaga yung pagiging focused nila in terms of learning and balancing their studies because of MMDC's program. And I'm very, very happy to know about the micro courses because again, can I just emphasize that Gen Zs are slashers, and anything that they can slash to their name is great. They would want it. And as employers, after we look at education, we look at education as a whole. It's not just ending with education and then we go to the career. We look at education and other learning experiences nowadays. So and definitely this will be something that's gonna be beneficial to them. So
Thank you so much. Okay, great. Now, do we have any questions from our media team? Do you guys have anything to ask or raise? You can raise your hands. Please don't be shy. If you have any questions for our panelists as well. Oh, sir, okay.
When we talk about national working students, for this school year, are you targeting just students in the Metro Manila area or nationwide? And if nationwide, how many would be the percentage between those coming or enrolling here from Metro Manila and from the provinces?
Okay, sir, let me take that. Thank you for the question, sir. So MMDC is fully online. That's the beauty of this model. That's why we're able to really provide the flexibility. And because it's fully online, you can take it from anywhere. So not just in Metro Manila. We actually have students from around the Philippines and some from abroad, US, Canada, Europe, even, of course, within Asia. And our students in the Philippines are literally from Apari to Hulu, right? So we have students, most of our students are in Metro Manila, and then some Bulacan, Rizal, then down south, Cavite, Laguna, Batangas. And then we have a strong community also in Negros Occidental, and then Cebu and Iloilo and some in Davao. So you see, they're across the country because of that flexibility. So in terms of growth, sir, we've been growing 100% year on year. That's a very big target for us, but it's a challenge we'd like to take because that's the purpose of the model. That's the purpose of MMDC, is to really serve working students. There are a lot of dropouts every year. That's average is about 200,000 college dropouts. And that would mean, again, that's a survey we saw, right? And we want to serve as many working students as we can.
Okay, thank you so much, Fred. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, we have another question here.
Yes, Jing Garcia from the Manila Times. I heard someone mention about future jobs that hasn't been created yet. So can you share a bit more, expound on that? Because I've been hearing these future jobs that AI will create since 2005, since early 2000. Now that we're here, now that AI is here, I think there is an imbalance when it comes to job creation. So I read more of jobs losses rather than job creation. So can you just share how can we balance this now that AI is already here? Thank you.
You want to share? Okay.
Okay, so let me again just run a few facts. So when we opened our first store in 1981, we never practiced contractualization. Directly hired all our crew. So fast forward to 2025, we are over 65,000 plus, 58,000 our crew, and we have 7,000 managers. Even during the pandemic, we did not lay anyone off. And even when pre-pandemic is when we started the experience of the future model wherein we transitioned, where we had all those self-ordering kiosks. It is again a misconception that we cut jobs. We still employ an average of 75 to 80 crew members per store, and we're opening at least 65 to 70 new stores every year. So if we do the math, that is continuous job employment generation. at McDonald's, sir. So that's from McDonald's. So digital does not, lessen the employment opportunities. In fact, it supports individual and company growth.
Let me add to that, and then I'm sure Noel will be able to add on to this, because they're the team who actually talks to industry professionals and see the gap that students can fill. So just to add on to what Miss Addy mentioned, the story is digitalizing the ordering system in McDonald's, right? The new jobs actually that was created in McDonald's, and correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Addy, are the people who built the system. So they're able, because they digitalize their systems, they're able to get or entertain more customers, faster processing of orders, thus the business grows, thus the employment grows. And the team who fixes and builds the systems are the new roles that they had to hire. I'm sure they had to hire UX designers, sorry if I'm saying the roles inaccurately, but the architects, right? The builders, definitely. And we've seen, because IBPAP is our partner, they always say that only 15% of IT graduates are hired in the IT industry. So you can just imagine the fallout rate. It's 85%. 85% are not able to exercise or apply their IT education in the IT jobs because of the lack of skills. Basically, the sad reality is they're not ready. Right? They're not ready for the job, even if they're graduates. So, with that number, 15% every year, and the number of organizations who want to grow and digitize their systems, there's really a lack. Right? And that's what we're trying to fill. So that there are more IT professionals, IT practitioners to help build systems. Yeah. And of course, the AI and all. So Noel might want to add anything. It's okay if you don't want to add anything. But I think it's very interesting, sir, his question, right? Because that's really true. Because they're saying, nawawala ng trabaho yung mga tao, but how come we're saying that we're building or creating new jobs?
Right. I think, so you're right, sir. No, there is, we can't deny the fact that there are some jobs that are being destroyed. And I guess the best way that I can explain or discuss my thoughts on it would be through an analogy. If you guys would think about how you would consume your music in the past, it's usually through CDs or cassette tapes or vinyl. Then we moved on to MP3s, right? Legally downloaded, most of them. But now, there's a completely new way by which we consume music. There's a completely new way by which we consume movies and series. Hindi na tayo mag-rent ng VHS. And then this, I think, is a natural process of disruption. I think AI is a very disruptive tool. And it's true that it will, quote unquote, lead to the extinction of some of the previous ways of doing things. But in the same breath, it also generates a bunch of new opportunities, a bunch of ways to do things differently. Maybe achieve the same results, but through different means. Now, it's true, but we can't deny that what that may result to would be a loss in jobs. But what that also emphasizes is the need for us to really invest in continuous learning and really appreciate how much technology has impacted or influenced all of our careers, our lives, and our day-to-day. So I think that's where MMDC and all of our partners who share the same vision come into play. We need to just emphasize the fact that if we want to remain, competitive in the job market, then we just have to continuously learn. Because the opportunities will be there. We just need to be ready for it when the time arrives.
Yeah, I would agree. And that is also adaptability to the new technology ahead of us. So do we have any last question? Okay, sir. Last question.
Micro-credentialing can help, not solve, but do something about job hopping? Or has it been a problem? Or job matching?
We're in the academe. We don't hire a lot of people. But in my 20 years of work experience, the job hopping really how you also sometimes grow. But that's why I think in organizations, the HR group or the leaders play a very important role in growing their talent, in making sure that the career path of their employees and talents are on the right track, right? We recently concluded an HR summit in Negros Occidental, and we encourage HR leaders in Negros Occidental to look at how to empower their HR members, right? Because it's like what connected to the question a while ago is, how can HR leaders rethink roles in the organizations, right? HR practitioners now, hindi lang sila dapat taga-process ng payroll and SSS and all these pag-ibig loans, right? They have to think about how can the talent or the new jobs fulfill the deliveries and the automations needed in the organization. So they have to play that role. So, of course, micro-credentials, to your question, sir, is very important because it aligns to what the organization or the company needs, right? Again, digitalization is very important. I think all the companies, even small brands, need digital marketing managers, right? Kaya the virtual assistants industry is booming, right? And that's actually a new job creation because of, you can work from home, work from anywhere, work from Italy or, in Singapore and do the job. That's why also our IT professionals here, they get clients abroad, right? So that I hope I answered your question, sir. The job hopping is inevitable. It's really up to the organization how to take care of their.
Ako, can I add? The job hopping, I feel, because I see it a lot also especially in our field, I think it's more a personal or individual choice rather than an industry thing. In terms of micro-credentials, this is why I feel it's so important, especially for any industry or space that is more creative, maybe business. To your point about HR, two things. One is a lot of companies don't call it HR anymore, or don't call it human resources. They call it Chief People Officer because you're not just hiring credentials on a paper. They now have the career progression in mind. And that's where the extra little things attended this workshop, part of this seminar, took a short course on this, plays a role. And distilling that to, for example, the work that I do, when I look at a CV, or for example, you will look at a CV, you'd want a Gen Z assistant to help you with your work. Ang kukunin mo, ang may maliliit na credentials of skills that you don't have, that this person can complement. So I feel like that's where micro-credentials are very, very important. Kunyari, hindi ko skill ang editing, hindi ko skill ang shooting. Then when you see someone who wants to apply as a social media manager, you would favor someone na kahit hindi siya yung mataas ang grades, hindi siya yung top ganito, pero merong skills specific to your needs. I think especially in the more production, creative media, small business space, micro-credentials would be very, very beneficial for not just Gen Zs, but even like millennials, Gen Xers, and so on.
From a corporate perspective, so micro-credentials, two ways to look at it. As an employer, we see offering these micro-credentials to our employees as a means to engage and build culture. So it's a way to really engage our people. So for example, we have a program like Crew Waiters, wherein we tap our crew and turn them into content creators. We professionalize them. We get, for example, really, production people to train them. So instead of us paying hundreds or hundreds of thousands to the different content creators. We start with our own pool. Kasi again, we have a huge pool of Gen Z talent, over 40,000 crew. And lahat yan nasa TikTok. Hindi ko sure. Kung lahat sila nasa
Tsaka
TikTok.
ginagawa na nila during break time, so why not?
Sana
Eh,
hindi. Sana hindi. Pero, I mean, yun talaga yung reality nung crew namin. So we have those. We see them also as a way to engage them creatively. Because Gen Z, even you can't box them into a classroom type training anymore. So we have to be more creative and find fun ways to connect and really teach them at the same time these skills. Napaisip. Baka pwede after their shift. But yeah, and we're actually happy if you check out our latest campaign. So we have one. Her name's Sherinata Said. She's from McDonald's Guzu. You can Google her. She was featured as one of our endorsers. She appeared on TV ads, billboards, because she was a crew and she was a content creator. And I think she was able to, to pass it on and basically really influence the culture. So I see that as an opportunity when it comes to micro-credentials, that it can also build your company culture and increase employee engagement and retention.
That is good. Ms. Jean, anything to add?
It's also very relevant because especially right now with the shift to digital, and of course it's been like for years, there are also some journalists who would find themselves like, of course, the media industry also suffered from a lot of layoffs due to the political and economical factors. And we find that, for instance, for the if you're gaining like certification, for instance, it's actually one way to see it is not just about job hopping, but also like upskilling in terms of finding where you can be an expert at. So especially right now with journalists, we get a lot of journalists would actually try also to learn about data journalism. That's basically to hone how they can practice storytelling using data, for instance. Or if they want to focus on like photos, like they can take a course on photojournalism because they're also expected to also take good photos or maybe do also video creation. So those are actually very helpful short courses as well, especially given the need to be able to learn more knowledge, for instance, and to also blend in. And I think one of the things that I also want to share is you can get all the short courses we want, but for instance, for journalists, I find that some of the people that I work with, because we also do at Rappler, we have a fellowship program which we call the Aris Rufo Journalism Fellowship. So this also helps student journalists and also community journalists to be able to actually harness their skills in the digital and reporting. So finding the balance between the digital landscape and also how do you make sure that you also report issues of public interest. So we also help out students, and they are mentored by Rappler editors. And we also do a lot of we provide them with short courses as well through Rappler. And we find that even if they go out there and try other jobs, there's one thing that actually makes them stick the journalism job, and it's actually the values that it's very important. That's how they can actually determine which jobs to take and which jobs not to go to, for instance. So I think it's a matter also of cultivating their values as they go into the work that they're doing.
And yeah, sorry, if I can add, if there's one thing that businesses can do and how to sort of integrate the micro courses, it has to be reflected or included in an employee's individual development plan or scorecard. They should, every year, diba, performance review yan. Hindi lang dapat nire-review yung naging results niya during the time. Pero kung ano rin yung mga learning classes, or if they were able to do yung learning path set out for them. So dapat, din siya, minimeasure siya ng company and nire-rate or minimeasure yung empleyado against it. Because it now has the accountability. As an employee, you have to be responsible for your own learning. You do the micro-credentials, you pursue your studies. That's you. And then on the flip side, the employer has the responsibility to provide you with those tools, to provide you with those opportunities, and ensure you follow through. So I think it's really a two-way thing, but for companies, it should really be part of how you monitor and how you really review and assess an employee's performance. It should include their holistic development.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Okay, we have last question, sorry. Yes.
Well, at the beginning of the discussion, there was talk about it was never about the dream, but actually about the lost economic opportunity, and especially in the case of women who had to step back because they have to be mothers, to be homemakers, to raise children. And also the fact that there's the proverbial work-life balance among women, that guilt of working, of raising a home, running the family. So how does the online course, the MMDC, how is it addressing, filling in the gap for women? And especially since we're celebrating Women's Month.
Yes. Okay, great. So maybe we can have a short summary for it. So based on experience, maybe we can ask.
Alam mo, if I were a 30-something new mom who didn't finish school, maybe has 2 years to go, who wants to work but breastfeed my baby at home, literal with this learning model, a mom can be breastfeeding at home and taking the online course. So I think that's a perfect framing as well to the one of the many benefits of a learning model like this.
Okay. Okay, so Jenny.
Ma'am, thank you for the question because I want to share with you an insight. Yes. Happy Women's Month. 55% of our students is actually women, right? And we've heard stories. And you know, IT, ang stigma dyan ay puro lalaki. Diba? Pang lalaking. But we're seeing that more women are getting into IT. Not just because of, one, because there's a lot of jobs out there for IT professionals, but also because of the flexibility. Right? We have several students who are taking, for example, IT, data analytics, and because they want to complement their current work with the ability to storify data, look into how the data can provide insights for the company, etc. So, yeah, we're very much happy to support women. In fact, also, our students are from 18 to our oldest is 50 years old. So, and a lot of them are women. So, happy to support our women in the Philippines.
Okay.
The VA program also. Ang daming gusto niya na.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, a lot of people can work. So once again, I just want to say thank you to all of our panelists. Let's give them a warm round of applause, everybody. Thank you so much. Of course, I know we have a lot of questions in mind, but once again, we have the socials of Mapua Malayan Digital College, of course, that you can, look at, and of course, the websites that they can go at. So once again, before we move to the further learning experiential zone, so first off, I'd like to say thank you to our panelists, and let's have a photo op first. So for the photo opportunity, let's take a photo of our panelists, and then followed by our second photo opportunity. It will be the panelists and our MMDC executives. So let's start first with our panelists, please. So once again, I hope everyone was able to enjoy the experience of being a working student even for just a while. And to further appreciate the hectic but meaningful journey they go through in their dreams. So you guys got a glimpse of what happens on a daily basis. So this wraps up our program. Once again, thank you so much. My name is Claire Carillo, also known as Claire Everyday. You guys can follow me on my socials as well. And you can follow my journey as a person who really embodies this, working student or National Working Students Day. So once again, do not forget to mark your calendars because this is going to be on Friday. Again, March 21st is our National Working Students Day. You can see here our official day and the hashtag, again, hashtag National Working Students Day. Don't forget to include photos, videos of your loved ones, or if you are a working student as well. So once again, thank you so much, everyone, and you can enjoy your lunch. Thank you.